De Grey Mining war in den letzten Tagen eine der heißesten Aktien an der australischen Börse. Der Gold Explorer schoss seit Anfang des Monats um sagenhafte 280% nach oben, nachdem man aktuelle Bohrergebnisse zur Neuentdeckung Hemi vorlegte. Nur wenige Tage später legte De Grey mit weiteren exzellenten Resultaten nach. Die wollen wir uns heute von Andrew Beckwith, dem technischen Leiter und Explorationsstrategen bei De Grey, erklären lassen. Andy, welcome.
Welcome to yourself, and thanks for having me.
Andrew, there were some great results from Hemi. Again, congratulations. Apart from the obvious, great width, great grades, great continuity, what is it about these results that has you excited that is perhaps not as easily seen?
I think really at the moment, Jorn, these are really quite early stage drill results. These are air core drilling. It's the first pass of drilling. They are substantial drill intersections. Like you said, high grade, thick intersections, and consistency. Consistency is the one thing that really stands out. There's no spiky nature to the mineralization. It's just solid mineralization from one side to the other. Haven't really seen results like that in early stage drilling, probably in most of my career, if not all of my career. So in that respect, they're very exciting. Thick 30-meter zone on section A, section B. We have three shallow holes, but those holes weren't able to penetrate into the heart of bedrock. So in terms of my potential, I see section B being just as exciting as A. It's just an earlier stage. Once we bring the RC in and can drill deeper under those three shallow holes, what I start to see on section B is the very shallow portions are probably just oxide. The air core rig could drill them, good results. But it's the last portion of the right-hand drill hole on the section that really, the last 10 meters started to get sort of sulfide mineralization, a little bit fresher. And as we start to see in the details of the individual assays, the grade just jumps up at that sort of zone. So I'm hoping, I don't know for sure just yet, but as we drill deeper, I believe, and we get below the oxide zone, I have this feeling where it's just I suppose an educated guess that things might even grow better as we go deeper with grade. So that's what I see as the upside, is section B, because if that's true and it's mineralized across the whole 60 meters, that's twice as wide as section A.
Okay, very, very exciting stuff indeed. Now, we've talked about section A, section B. What I have read in the comments is that people are also excited about what is happening in between with the section C, or want to know what's happening there. The market didn't seem to like those results quite as much as they did the other batch of results. But perhaps you can tell us, what do you see there? What gets you excited about that?
Sure. Look, yeah, it's easy to see why the market might be a little bit disappointed with section C. It's certainly not as strong as the other two. But in context, being very early phase drilling, only really drilling the shallow oxide, I see nearly 70 meters of mineralization. Now, if we're in the oxide portion of section B, it's not that dissimilar. There's lower grade values in the upper portions of section B. Nobody's querying that section B, and I see section C. We may not just be right on the zone. So, these are still 80-meter spaced holes. So we could put a whole section A right through there. And in fact, we could put section B right next to it. And it's all about scale. People don't realize that section B and A can fit between both of those holes. So are we just on the side of it? We're going to drill some holes. Probably in the end, they'll be both sides of that mineralization and a bit deeper. We'll see if it's there. We're still waiting on a number of air core holes further to the south along that line. There could well be another zone, or it could be we've got the orientation slightly different. So, I actually think some of the structure may go further south. So, or there's another structure. So it's exciting. It's first pass exploration, and I think people need to just sit back and relax for a little bit. we're going to drill some holes. We'll work out where it is. We don't know all the answers right now. We're very excited for what it could be. If we can get the mineralisation to be solid between the, section A and section B, that's over 600 metres, quickly defined as a strong trend. In my mind, we've already done it. We've got mineralisation on section C in the middle. So it's now just a case about the detail and the full drill out.
Oh, okay, I understand. So yeah, that would be really exciting to get the connection from A to B, 600 meters in strike. That would be very nice.
Yes.
When we talked about this just before we started the interview, we were talking about the sort how the mineralization got in there. Can you perhaps explain a bit what you talked about then?
Yeah, so look, if people are interested on sort of, I think it's slide 14 of our latest presentation, we've got a plan there of where the drilling is, where the good results are. And what the most startling thing for me is, we have that strong mineralisation in section A, and that's in sediments, and we think that's a shear zone, so it's a structure going through the zone. We think it's subvertical, but then we have what we are interpreting as 3 intrusions. Now, those intrusions act like a fairly rigid body, like a block of ice. So when you crack that, if you only do one single crack, that would probably tend to create a vein. But that's not what we're seeing in the intrusion on section B. So what we see in the intrusion B is like the little bit of drill chips that we can recognise. It's looking like there's a breccia, a little crackle breccia. So what I see, maybe the intrusion is acting like a big block of ice that's just been shattered. So I use the analogy of a slushy, crushed ice, and that absorbs a lot more fluid than a big, hard block of ice. So it just acts like a sponge. So that's my hope, that what we see when we drill section B is a really crackle brecciated intrusion. It's sucked up all the gold fluids, and it's actually quite a massive ore body. And it's not limited to a narrow structure at all. It could be 60 metres wide. It could even be more. If you look on that slide in page 14, that map shows every hole that we've drilled on very wide space drilling, every hole above those interpreted intrusions is actually anomalous in gold. We haven't drilled deep under all of them except section B, where we've done a couple of extra holes. So I just see tremendous upside just on the intrusions without even worrying about joining to section A. It's hard not to dream big, so we're trying to stay grounded. But I see plenty of upside if that intrusion is acting like a very rigid body that's just been smashed up. It could have sucked up a lot of gold, and it's just hosting a big ore body.
Okay, so as you said, very, very exciting stuff, but also, as you said, there was first pass drilling, a lot more work to be done. Can you give us a bit more details about the upcoming work, what you're planning for the diverse sections of Hemi, and also what kind of other news flow we might be expecting from De Grey over the next weeks and month?
We're certainly trying to get the RC drill rigs back and the air core rig back as fast as possible. Unfortunately, just after we announced these results, we had a cyclone go through. Not much damage as far as we're aware, but quite a bit of rain. So unfortunately, that just frustratingly hinders getting access again with big, heavy machinery. So we just have to let it dry out, basically. We hope to be drilling sometime next week, preferably early, but it might be later. We just have to see how long it takes to dry out. So we plan to get an RC rig there to do deeper drilling on those 3 sections at least. We're planning to get the air core drilling again and finish the lines further to the southwest. We have existing samples in the lab from the original air core drilling before we put out the results. So they're being assayed right now. So news flow is still to come from the assay labs immediately. Once we have the RC and air core back on site, we'll have news flow from the sampling, obviously, with those drill holes. So outside of the excitement of Hemi, we're still updating resources from last year's drilling. So we plan still to put out the resource update based on all the 2019 drilling across all the other deposits. So that's pretty exciting. We hope we can reach our target that we've been put out on ourselves of 2 million ounces. And then really, Hemi after that becomes a sole focus going forward for its own reasons. It's obviously high grade and high impact. So, the next couple of months will be heavily focused on Hemi. We are working on the economics behind the scenes for the existing resources. We do intend to update shareholders on that in the quarter. So I think there'll be some very serious and hopefully many news updates as we go through the next part of this quarter and beyond.
Okay. Now, very good. We are certainly looking forward to hear more about Hemi and about the other prospects and ore bodies. So thank you for taking the time, and keep up the good work is all I can say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.